This episode is brought to you by Hulu Plus. With Hulu Plus, you get total control to watch thousands of shows wherever you want, whenever you want. Binge on full seasons and watch your favorite current shows like Community, South Park, SNL, and more. Right now, my listeners can get an extended free trial of Hulu Plus by going to huluplus.com/Joey. That's huluplus.com/Joey.
If you don't live, you live. Go out there, sling dick, and make the best of it. It's Monday, cocksucker. What's going on with you, you little prick?
Fuck you. God damn it.
Crying since the minute I come in here. You're all discombobulated. It's Monday.
I'm not discombobulated, but
you're texting some broad. You're playing back. You went out with this other broad last night.
I don't like it when you're happy. When you're happy, you give me too much shit.
I'm happy. What the fuck don't you? When I'm mad, I give you.
No,
shit.
When you're mad, you're just quiet. You're just like, hey, whatever. When you're happy, okay. This edible we're gonna eat today.
Well,
you've been talking to me for like 4 days.
But this is stressing you out. Why is it stressing you out? Because you're gonna eat it and go to bed. It's like you're gonna eat it and drive in the 405.
That's normally what I do.
Hit a bang the fucking Chinese people going to take pictures.
Okay, for people who give me shit, let me explain to you what he does. He's been calling me for like 5 or 6 days that he's known about this, and he does this. He's like, "It's too much for me, man. This is gonna be bad." Click. The next day, get ready for it. You're gonna see the devil. Click. For like 6 days, twice a day. This is too much,
When
man.
you go to a fucking movie, right? Don't they show you previews?
Yeah.
I'm giving you previews.
You're not giving me previews. You're giving me. You're giving me. Let's see how much I can get this Jew to freak out.
No.
And now in front of all our friends, you're like, "Oh, I'm all tough." You told me you had one. You had to throw the rest away because it was too strong and freaked you out. Your cats were licking it. They were running around.
What are you talking about? You're the fucking other guy making up shit. Listen, for all you people who know, it's a beautiful day to be alive. Get your shit together. Don't listen to this fucking Moldovan over here. With this fucking Staminka juice and this fucking
He's making up
crying
words.
shit. I come in here, he's got this face on like he's lost his fucking dog. You don't even have one.
I feel like I'm gonna find a dog and
you
lose
ate
it.
like a fucking savage this week.
Oh.
They were throwing grapes in your mouth and rubbing your fucking toes. I come in here, you're sitting there like a bump on a log again, watching that fucking ESPN.
Yeah, I'm watching
which
ESPN
I'm gonna
for
fucking blow up
for 10 minutes before you get
when
here.
you give a fuck about sports, cocksucker. Get up. You should be writing poetry, jumping jacks, reciting shit, philosophy, reading Nietzsche. The fuck ESPN. Cut it out. What are you depressed about?
I'm not depressed about shit.
Let me give you a fucking story, all right? Auntie Dolores, one of my favorite people in the world, one of the best edible companies out there. All right, my girl Miranda, I love her to death. She's a fucking great lady. Auntie Dolores is coming out with a new product. It's a 500 milligram fucking brownie chocolate cupcake with vanilla icing. Just the vanilla icing alone will give you goosebumps on your neck, okay? So she sent me 2 of them. I got 2 of them, and I took one, I cut it in half, and I left it by the bread, where I put the bread. Mm-hmm. And I cut it again, and I ate a quarter, and then I ate the other quarter, and I had forgotten that I had eaten it.
How do you forget that you ate it?
Because you're living your fucking life. You're not dwelling in this edible I ate. What's going to happen? You're just living your fucking life. That's what encourages the edible. People think that the edible is going to make you happy. No, it's going to make you happy times 10. You're going to have a good time. You're going to chill, relax. You're going to see life for what the fuck it is. All right, sometimes you see it from behind the whatever. Anyway, I ate this thing, and my wife went to yoga, and I was watching a baby, and meanwhile, I forgot that I had eaten this fucking thing at 7:30 in the morning on Saturday, and it just hit me. It overwhelmed me, but what really killed me about it was that the baby was sitting on me, and I had to pee, and she was asleep, and I couldn't wake her up, and I was starting to get anxiety from how the fuck I was going to pee and get up. My wife came in, and that's what happened. That's what gave me the anxiety. It wasn't the edible. I realized a couple hours later that the edible was fucking strong. I mean, it was really goddamn strong. It's delicious. Wait till you taste it.
Sure.
But yesterday I was fucked up too. Yesterday
really?
I had a Chibo chew at the church.
Jesus.
Sure I did. Who the fuck you think you're dealing with here? You gotta go to church prepared.
Prepared?
You don't go to fucking church sober. You gotta smoke something or shoot some heroin.
That was an awesome weekend, man. Thanks for including me in a bunch of stuff.
Hey, listen, man. Let me tell you something. I was gonna baptize my child one way or another for about a month. I was thinking about New York City. I was going to take it back and have my friends and the whole thing. Then I really started thinking about it. And I said, A, she's not going to remember nothing. Mm-hmm. So it really doesn't fucking matter. And B, as much as my wife said that to me that day, that I keep my past close to me, I keep it close to me to remind me and I keep it close to me for different things. I didn't want to go back there because I wanted her to have her life here. That's not her life. That was my pathetic fucking life. It had nothing to do with her. So I decided to have it here with who my family is here. Did you see those people at that table yesterday?
Yeah.
They're my family. Felipe Esparza, Dr. Amy, my acupuncturist, Stacy Pocaluto from the publicity company. I've known them since day one. Ralphie called, a couple people called and said they couldn't make it, blah, blah, blah. I didn't invite everybody. I just invited the people. I didn't want movie stars or Holly. I didn't want none of that shit. I just wanted my friends there. That's all that matters to me. My fucking friends at the end of the week.
But it's crazy because you talked about it for a while, but it's I took like about 200 pictures just because I just kept pressing take the picture, and you've talked about like you said like all that matters is that Terry's happy. Like there's some pictures, and I haven't seen you guys smile like that in fucking the 2 years that I've known you, and it's just I saw Mercy I think when she was around a month old, and I haven't seen her for a couple months because you're always gone during the weekends and I'm always working. But I saw her like 2 or 3 times this weekend, and she's just adorable. She's great.
You're a good kid. I'm very fortunate. I got a healthy kid.
Cut that. I'm not eating all that.
Look what I ate. Look what we ate. Half is 200. I ate the bulk of it. Eat it. I saw what you did. I saw what you did.
I'm cutting it in half. There's no way I'm eating all this.
Put it up.
I'll eat this.
Eat that right there, too. That's the way it's supposed to eat it. It's 30 milligrams.
Fuck you, 30 milligrams.
I'm watching it. Come on, eat.
I am. Give me
Let's go.
a second. Jesus
Christ.
Christ.
See nothing. Look at him. You start with the water and the whole thing.
Jesus Christ.
These kids are going to shoot you on this podcast.
Good.
Let me see you.
Fuck you.
There you go. With some water. Where's the other piece? Do the other piece.
It's going to I'll have another.
All right, I'm watching you, cocksucker. It's tremendous. That's delicious, nutritious. She makes it gluten-free with real eggs. It's healthy. And by the way, for you people that are local, this is how we roll at the Church of What's Happening Now. Friday, the 7th, from 4 to 8, Auntie Dolores is doing a sampling at my favorite place.
Which one?
The one on Lancashire.
Oh,
Divine Wellness,
yeah.
4 to 8. I'll be there at some point. I got a meeting. I got a couple things to do. But I will be there for 2 minutes or so. So if you're there, I'll bring some T-shirts for you. Friday, the fucking 6th or the 7th, 4 to 8, Auntie Dolores will be at Divine Wellness on Lancashire Boulevard. Be there or be fucking square. Let's get down, Lee. What's going on? How you doing? We had a great time. You know, one of my friends came in from out of town. And it was funny. I am not a fucking tour guide. I have never been a tour guide. I don't know nothing about nothing. I like staying close to my house, and this is even when I did blow. I don't like fucking bars. I don't like going anywhere. But I had to entertain this cocksucker. He's a dear friend. I knew when he came out, he's a longshoreman. He goes to bed early, and he wakes up early. So 8 o'clock, he goes to bed in the East Coast. That's 5 o'clock here.
Yeah.
I had my fucking hands full. The first night when he came in, I picked him up Thursday. Me and Lee, my wife and the baby, went over to what was the name of it?
Salsa and beer.
Salsa and beer on Sherman Way, is it? In fucking Lancashire.
Good.
Delicious. Best Mexican food around. Cheap as fuck. I think we all ate for 50 fucking bucks. I had steak. Tell them how long the shrimp lasted on my dish.
Well, I didn't know how stoned you were, but the food came. I showed up a few minutes late, and he got his food, and there were probably 5 or 6 shrimp. I'm not sure that you didn't take all those shells off. Like you. And you just inhaled it. I don't think you
inhaled
chewed.
them. I was fucking starving. So we went to Salsa and Chips Thursday night from there.
And I love how you call every time there's any person who speaks Spanish, everyone's primo.
Primo, that means cousin.
And you're just yelling across the restaurant, Primo!
Primo, get over here, cocksucker. I got shit going on. My tongue is on fire. The fucking salsa was on fire. Then we went to the Laugh Factory in Long Beach.
Yeah, that was cool.
And that was cool. And then from there, we dropped James home because he was dizzy. You know, he don't like dirty language either.
He doesn't?
No.
Oh, he was laughing at the stuff you said?
Oh, yeah. He was laughing because he's my buddy, and I'm his buddy, and I'm his brother. But another thing about him, he's very straight. He doesn't like when I say fucking ethnic jokes.
Oh, really?
He don't like when I smoke pot. He don't like none of that shit. But we've been friends since we were 15. When we were 15, we did everything. Mm-hmm. I mean, we did everything. He was the one that drove us down the shore, and we stole the 17 grams of blow. Jesus. And we got down there all coked up, and we touched the beach. We all looked at each other and were like, we gotta get back in the car. So we drove 3 fucking hours to get right back in the car and come home. I mean, him and I used to go to a lot of fucking movies together as a kid. That was our connection.
Yeah.
You know, if you see who his normal friends are, you go, Joey, where the fuck do you fit into all this? But he hangs out with 3 or 4 people that are crazy like me, and he really dug them. And he never judged me. And 35 years later, he's my friend. You know, he's come out to Colorado to visit me.
Oh, really?
He came out to Seattle to visit me, and now he's in Los Angeles. Every 10 years, he makes a fucking appearance. I'm really lucky. When I was looking for a godfather for the child, I wanted somebody who was a father, you know, who had his own kids. Because when you're a godfather, like I said before on the show, you know, my mother died at an early age. When you're a godfather, you fulfill that void.
Yeah.
You know, my godfather, I grew up in a criminal fucking Cuban elephant. And my godfather, from the ages of, you know, I could remember 5 to 15, my godfather was a soldier. I fucked him years later. Until now, I feel really bad. Now I want to go to Miami and shoot him. He's like 85, so I wouldn't get any justice in him. But I wanted my daughter to be able to fly back east.
Yeah.
And have family and have somewhere to go.
And then the godmother, too. You love her. You always talk about her.
Yeah, the godmother is my wife's friend. She's got 4 kids. You see the daughter?
Yeah, you love that girl. I have some pictures. In some of my pictures, like, I just remember it because she was sitting right outside, and I just have pictures, and you're just staring at her, just making faces at her.
Oh, the little girl.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Jade. She's a Filipino. They're Filipino.
Yeah.
And she works with my wife. You know, my wife has no fucking friends. My wife had 2 friends, and both of them told her to go fuck himself when she started dating me.
Oh, really?
So my wife was really sensitive about that shit. My wife don't give a fuck. As long as my wife has a book, she's as happy as shit.
Yeah.
And we got each other, you know, which is the most important thing. But over the couple of years, my wife's been making little fucking connections with little people and shit like that. And Janice was one of them. At the wedding, it was the first time I met Janice.
Yeah.
They worked together. And I got in there, and Janice was sick. And she showed up to the wedding, and she helped my wife with all these details. Not to mention she has 4 kids. She's a beautiful woman. She's got 4 fucking kids, that lady.
Wow.
And her husband's cool as shit. You know, he's a paparazzi.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he takes pictures of people and chases them down a car.
But no, you love that little because.
Oh, like, I love the kids. I love his kids.
And you're like, I was so surprised. Like right as they were leaving, you're like, Jade, excuse me, thank you so much for coming. I was like, well, who is this person? And she got all nervous, and then you were making faces at her.
Oh, I love Jade with all my heart. I'd known Jade since she was 4. You know, that's the family I took to the Laker game.
Yeah, yeah.
And we didn't take her. And I felt so fucking guilty. You know, I mean, they said that she wasn't really into basketball, so I got like a gift certificate to Toys R Us, a big gift certificate. I loved them. I'm very happy, and my wife's happy. And Stacy was there. A lot of people made fun of me, like, how can you baptize your child and stuff? Listen, I had a couple things I had to do with my child. I had to introduce her to her godparents, and I had to take her to a church, and that's it. That's where my introduction to the church ends.
Yeah, I was thinking about that yesterday, and I didn't want to ask in front of everyone, but like, were you thinking about your mom a lot yesterday?
Yeah,
like, I would think you would.
Big day, the last 2 days, big mom day, just little things, you know, little fucking remembrances of what that meant to me growing up when I was in the church. The priest was talking to me. He's talking about the 3 oils. I'm like, Vaseline. I still got it, even in my mind.
That was a cool priest. I was thinking about it during the service because I've probably been to 2 or 3 Catholic things ever, like maybe 1 funeral or like this. And I don't know if it was just him or if it's all, but it's like for Jewish services, it was a joke. But Dr. Amy and I were saying it would have been 2 hours. We would have been standing up and down, and we wouldn't have understood any of it. But like it was so intimate. Like he wasn't out up at the stand. He was just talking to like the
we lucked out. It was just us alone. We signed up for that Saturday. I goes, you know what? Going into the last week, it's just you guys alone for the baptism. So you'll be out of there by 2:30.
And he explained a little bit, and then like I always like when they're kind of cool. He's like, when he was talking about the things where you have problems, he's like, maybe it's just someone flipping you off, and it's just he was like a cooler, older guy. And I was like, it seemed cool. Like I was thinking, like if I had been Catholic, I might have still been religious, just because that guy was fucking cool.
Well, you know, like I said, I'm not the most religious guy in the world, but I respect. I know there's something out there. If there isn't something out there, I wouldn't be 50 with that beautiful little fucking baby.
Yeah.
You know, I've never gotten nobody fucking pregnant like that before. But it's so weird how, you know, I have a daughter from a previous marriage, and I can tell you one thing, that it never felt like a family like it did yesterday for me.
Oh, yeah.
Never felt like a family. Never, ever. Between her family, and they were a nice white family, you know, originally from the Buffalo, the whole thing. But they didn't make me feel what I felt yesterday. I don't know if because I was addicted on coke then, or I don't know what the difference was, but yesterday I did feel something. And I had a great time at the restaurant.
Yeah.
We ate Cube Saturday night. We went to fucking Artie Morton's.
Oh, jeez.
And we killed that motherfucking place. But let people know, we ate healthy. We didn't eat desserts, you and I. It's not like we fucking ate a ton of bread.
We had salad and steak.
We had salad and a fucking steak. That's it. And we had a little bit of the mashed potatoes. I had a little.
Those were good horseradish mashed potatoes.
You don't fuck around. My wife, when I woke up this morning, my wife still has the steak in the fucking refrigerator. You know how much control it took for me to steal that fucking steak this morning?
Oh, and it's a ribeye too, so like...
Yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful.
Oh, God.
Listen, man, and remember what I said to you? There's a big difference between eating McDonald's and good food.
Yeah.
The Mexican food was not expensive. The food yesterday was not expensive.
No.
But it was good food.
Oh, yeah.
And that's all I ask of people. That's it. There's some places that you just don't fucking know. Me, I don't even want to take that chance.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to take that chance. That pork I ate, I never eat pork out.
Really?
Refuse to eat pork on the outside. No pulled pork sandwiches, no guts. The only thing I eat pork out is when I'm in Jersey and I eat spare ribs that had Chan's dragging in. That's the only fucking pork I eat.
Why don't you like pork?
I just don't trust it. Why take the chance?
I do that with shrimp.
And some people with shrimp. I just feel something about pork. A friend of mine said he got sick on pork once. It lasted fucking a month, how sick he was. So seafood, I've gotten fucking sick on that fucking cancer seafood from Subway sandwich. That shit they give you in a can. Yeah. I've never gotten sick from sushi. I heard it's a nightmare.
Yeah, sushi you have to go to like a good place, but like the like Long John Silver's, I would never go there.
I can just see somebody eating fucking sushi at Long John Silver's with a fucking white dude with Scotch tape on his eyes. He was fucking Japanese. Ain't that a fucking bitch? What up, Lee motherfucking Sayat? How many jumping jacks you gonna do today?
I don't know. I'm nervous. I'm just dreading what's about to happen, so we'll see.
Nothing's gonna happen. We'll eat another piece in a second.
Fuck you.
I left the fucking knife out and everything like a soldier. What time you gotta be at work?
6.
That's 12 hours away. What could possibly...
Yeah. It's 12 hours. And
you're not gonna do nothing all day. You're
the edible lasts 11 and a half hours.
So what? You're used to it already. You've been eating edibles. See, the more it's like jiu-jitsu, it's like anything else. The more you do it, the easier it gets. So start eating them. When I come over here and I hand you, but I'm juicing. But you're out drinking cocktails with Ashley and fucking Bruce Lee's sister. So I don't want to hear fucking shit, cocksucker. I don't want to hear fucking nothing. You're no good. You're making stories. But we did have a nice weekend, and it was really nice to have James around. We really had some... he lost his mother a year ago, and I could see how it affected him. Mm-hmm. In the time I've known him and I walked one night to go see a Charles Bronson movie. I mean, me and him, that's how old we are. That's how long we've been friends. There was no cars when we first started hanging out.
Now, he's your age? Like, roughly close to it?
Yeah, he's about 50. I remember us going to see, like, Ghostbusters together.
Oh, no.
We went to see a lot of fucking movies. That was him and I's connection. Went to see Scarface together. Went to see... The Evil That Men Do was the Charles Bronson movie we went to see. Mm-hmm. In 1984, we walked home. We went to this bar and we stayed out all fucking night. He was crazy. When we was younger. But somewhere along the line, he just, he went to college and he became a motion. He had a really fucked up experience. And this is why you gotta watch who's in your car.
Okay.
I know he would be mad at me if he listened to this, but he drove a friend of his from work home one day.
Okay.
And the friend told him to make a stop, that he had to pay for he had to go to a restaurant and pay a bookie debt. And when the guy came out, he got in the car and he went for a ride. They got pulled over by the cops. They were watching the place. It was being watched by the DEA, and they pulled him over, and the kid had some blow on him.
Oh, no.
So they arrested everybody. He threw it on the floor, and they arrested everybody. I don't know if you know that if you get busted in a fucking car and you throw the shit on the floor, everybody gets arrested in the car.
Oh, God.
That's a ballless fucking move.
Yeah.
So they arrested James, and he had to go tell his father, and he never felt the same about that. So years afterward, I went back home for something, and I got in the car with him, and he goes, "Hey, listen, man, I love you to death. We're tight, but if you got drugs on you, you can't come in my car."
Yeah, of course, if something like that happens.
And I told him the truth. I go, "I do got drugs on me." He goes, "Well, figure out what you're going to do with them, because you can't bring them in my fucking car." So I think I went behind a tree and snorted the coke, and got in his car, and that was it. He's always been kind of fucking weird after that.
I had that happen. I mean, nothing bad happened, but when I interned out here, I lived at like a kind of a, not a boarding house, but something like it. And I was out with my roommate, and he said, "Go over here. I have to make a stop." And he was, I mean, weed is basically legal here, so it wouldn't have been that bad. But we were in freaking like mid-Wilshire, and he was going to sell somebody weed, and he didn't tell me, and like it freaked me out, so I never drove him again. But that's a shitty thing to do to somebody.
It's shitty to do to somebody. Did you talk to? So you lived in a boarding house when you first got here?
Kind of. Well, I interned here before I moved out here.
Right.
And it's like all the what's it called? International people. It's a place in West LA that you can rent a room for like $800.
Hostel.
Basically, yeah. But I had like
you have your own room, or
yeah.
you have roommates?
They owned like 5 or 6 houses on the street, and I had my own room. But there was people in the house that had their own room too.
You shared a bathroom with?
Yeah.
Right. All right. I've been in those.
Yeah. No, it wasn't bad, and he was a cool guy, and he was a valet at the Playboy Mansion. But we were just driving around. He's like, go down here, and it was a shitty street. He got out of the car and sold this guy weed, and it kind of like because I'm from Boston where it's not legal, and it freaked me out. But that's crazy. Yeah, James is a cool guy because you told me James, but I know his last name from all the stories, and you didn't say it until like the second day. So it's crazy meeting people. You're like, oh, well, I've heard all these stories about you.
It's fucking crazy. You know, I lived in a boarding house for the first time ever in '85. I left North Bergen, and I moved in with Mr. T. And I just wanted my own place, so I looked in the paper for apartments. I didn't even know what a boarding house was. And I got this lady on the phone, and she goes, that apartment's been packed, but this is what I do have. I have a house that I rent out rooms at.
Yeah.
And instead of paying $600 a month for the apartment, I'll rent you a room for $80 a week, which is like $320 a month or something. And she goes, a beautiful house. You could use the kitchen, you could use the bathroom, and you could use the kitchen. That's it. And you have to have your meals in some part of the refrigerator. So I went and looked at the place, and it was beautiful. It was a bedroom, and
that's all you needed.
That's all I needed. And I had a kitchen area where I could bring food and cook it. And I had this bathroom, and it was just so weird that the roommate I had, she rented out 3 rooms on the 3rd floor. And what happened was she was married, and she had 2 boys and a girl, and everybody had moved out of the fucking house, and now she was just renting the room so she wouldn't be alone. She was a very nice woman. And one day I'm outside, and a Camaro pulls up. I'm just walking out to go get the bus to the city.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I liked about it. It was Teaneck, New Jersey, or Tenafly, New Jersey. It was Tenafly, because I still got a warrant there, probably. And, no, it was Tenafly. And I walked out, and you could jump on the bus right into the city there. Tenafly's next to Dumont and all those little Cresskill and all that shit.
Okay.
Dumont is where the Iceman lived.
Oh, okay.
And I'm right there in Tenafly. And I walk to the bus, and all of a sudden the kid comes up with a Camaro. And he gets out of the car, and he goes, how you doing? I go, what's up? He goes, oh, this is my mother's house. I go, oh, this is your mother's house? And he goes, yeah, blah, blah, blah. All right, so I leave, and the next day, I'm pulling into the city again. He pulls up again. And we start talking. One thing leads to another. He goes, where are you going? I go, I'm going into this. I got to take a bus. He goes, why don't you take it? He goes, I got to go into the city. He goes, I'll drop you off by the George Washington Bridge, and you can take a train down. That's still not bad. I was killing time anyway. I didn't have to be at work till 5. It was like maybe lunchtime. And what I would do basically is take a bus into Port Authority, and I'd take the A train to Harlem and get a bag of weed anyway and go to a movie and eat some food. Then I go back to work at 5. I was one of those guys. I just didn't like. So he goes, get in the car. We shoot into over the thing, and on the bridge, it's comes out that he's going over to get coke.
Of course.
So I'm going to get. I go, fuck it. I'll go get a $20 Coke Rock, and I'll go get some weed with you. So we become friends. And the next day he comes over again. He picks me up, and he lived with a girl or whatever. One day he comes over, picks me up, and he drops me into the city. And the weirdest thing is, in the city, people come up to you all the time and ask you if you want to buy shit. At this time, people come up to you and ask you, do you buy shit? Ba 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 ba. So, me and him, I bought a chain from somebody. I bought like a necklace. Just a chain. Did I tell you the story?
I don't think so.
Just a chain, no piece on it or nothing. And the next day, I go, what the fuck am I going to do with this chain? And gold was high then. I don't know what the price of gold was. I think I bought it for like $15 or something like that. So I take the chain over. The guy tested. It's good. Boom. He gives me $85. I make $70. To me, that's a fucking payday at the time. I was 20 years old, 21 years old, or whatever. So I tell this kid this. I go, yeah, I went over there and they paid. So he says to me, I got this ring. He goes, my wife's girlfriend, my girlfriend's mother wants to sell it. So right away I know it's bullshit, but I don't give a fuck. He goes, I'll give you half the money. Okay. I said, sure. I fucking get the ring. We go into the city. I split it with him. I tell him, for some fucking reason, because I'm a dumb fuck, you know, in those days they didn't ask you for a license yet for gold.
Okay.
I told him I didn't have a license, and I told him my address in Teaneck. And I told him the fucking Ortenafly, and I told him my real name, which I would never fucking do. Never. In those days, you have to say nothing. I could tell them my name is Lee Sayat for all they fucking knew.
Yeah.
And I told him my real name.
No, were you at a pawn shop or like, where
it was a place where you sell gold in New York City. It's a pawn shop / jewelry store where you sell gold. Now, number two, I thought this area was all corrupted.
Okay.
So I thought no matter what you sold, it got melted. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But this place was really doing paperwork. I was bringing places to, and it wasn't like I was bringing gold to them every day. I was bringing gold to them once a fucking month. Maybe I bought a piece. Maybe I stole a ring back from Nick's Pizza. Whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
And I get a knock on the door about 10 days later in Jersey. They pull me out and they fucking handcuff me. And they go, this is for possession of stolen property. And I go, what the fuck are you talking about? And they go, you sold some jewelry in New York City, blah, blah, blah. 2 of the pieces I sold were stolen. A piece I had sold like a month before, and the chain I sold for the fucking kid that was the lady's son. Mm-hmm. He stole the fucking ring from the lady.
Of course.
It was her mother. So the cops, she made a police report about a week later, and I fucking go to jail. I get busted, and that's when I called Georgie.
Oh.
Did you hear that story when Georgie bailed me out?
Yeah.
That was why.
Like you had seen him a couple days before?
Right. So I seen him that same day.
Oh, it was the same day.
So I got arrested for the fucking possession of stolen property. Then they realized I had a fucking warrant in Fort Lee, New Jersey or something from Cliffside Park. They dropped the jewelry charges.
Okay.
They took me to Cliffside Park. Cliffside Park made bail, and I got the fuck out of there. I never heard again from the rings. And the bail, I paid the fine, and I was fucking done.
Yeah,
but that's why you got to be fucking careful, whatever the fuck you do. I mean, now they'll throw you in jail because now there's so much fucking paperwork involved in whatever you sell.
And they have those cash for gold places everywhere. The cash for gold?
Cash for gold, sure. But, it was amazing how much gold I sold in those days. There's 2 things I sit here and all, and I fucking want to shoot myself in the head. How much gold I sold for cheap money.
You'd probably be a billionaire now.
Did it for fucking blow. And how much blow I spent on blow. Yeah, I did a couple kilos for free, but I also paid for fucking kilos in my day.
If you had to guess, do you think you spent over half a million? You think half? Jesus Christ! Oh, it's not Monday. We gotta do this. I'm not eating the other piece.
Italy. No, what's the piano? All right, Italy, hit that piece.
I'm not eating the other piece.
Lee, eat the piece.
No, 1 piece is enough.
It was a little piece I gave you. Lee, you don't even have 30 milligrams. You usually eat fucking 45.
No, I've had enough. I'll fucking eat it later.
Eat it right now. Come on.
No, fuck you.
Eat it right now for the camera, so help me God, I'll make you eat a quarter of this piece here. Either that piece or a piece of this. What's it going to be? Come on, let's see.
I'm not eating another.
Lee,
no, I had enough.
Lee, come on, Lee, why are you doing this?
Because I'm done.
You're going to embarrass me. This kid wants me to throw you off the fucking podcast now.
Oh, that was I didn't see that. That's funny though.
Eat the little piece.
No, I'm done.
Eat the piece.
No.
Eat it, please. Don't make me embarrassed.
Fine. You can do all this stuff. I'll go home.
That's okay. I'll do it. Go ahead. Eat the fucking.
No, I'm done. I'm done.
Why are you being such a fucking mook today?
Because it's
Monday.
It's
we
my
have a nice
second
weekend.
day at a new job.
So what? You're gonna be fine. You're gonna sleep 12 hours. I can see if you're gonna eat it and go there at 8. Eat the fucking piece. You're gonna sleep nice. Can you believe I gotta deal with this shit all the time? Tell us about what happened with the women this weekend.
It's surprising. I've been trying to do a little bit of dating, and I went on this date, and we talked a little bit. She's like, "Listen, I'm in school. I don't think it's gonna work out." So I said, "Fine." And she texted me the next day, and she said, "Do you want to be friends?" Now, normally I would have said yes, because I try to make everyone happy. But I met her on this dating website, and I was honest. I said, "Honestly, no, not really." I said, "You're a nice person, but I have enough platonic friends." You never put that in the right angle. And she got mad at me. She didn't like that answer, and she texted me the next day. She's like, You know what? I think I made the wrong choice. I still kind of want to date, and it's I don't understand that at all. And everyone knows my history with other girls, and we were talking, and there's always someone who likes the other person more in a relationship. There always is, and it's not, guys have things they're fucked up with too, but girls almost never like the guy that likes them. It's always the guy that doesn't pay attention, the guy that doesn't call them back,
guy that pisses on them, the guy that smacks them, the guy that goes to jail.
And then
you got to find the happy medium. You got to stop being a nice guy. You learn.
No, but I'm trying to. But I'm still a nice guy. Like, I'm not an asshole to her, but like saying I don't want to be friends. That.
What's going on with the other broad? You in love with the other broad still?
Oh no, I mean no.
Play the guitar for this weekend.
I don't play the guitar.
Yes, you do. Don't fucking.
My fingers are too short. I can't play the guitar.
You didn't serenade her with love this weekend?
No, I saw her. I only saw her for like an hour this weekend.
Did you try anything? Did you tell her you loved her? You want to eat her monkey?
No.
You didn't push the envelope a little bit?
The envelope's over. The envelope's long gone.
You gotta push the envelope. I said, listen, don't be coming over here unless you want to sniff my nuts. I'm gonna rub some fucking Jew cologne on them. We're gonna fucking get this party started.
What's Jew cologne?
I don't know. High
Just money?
I don't fucking know, Lee. You gotta get it together, cocksucker.
But no, it's...
So you got the other broad already hooked up. You're dating the other broad, pseudo.
Yeah, no, it's
And you got the other girl. What about the girl in Boston? You still got her on the hook?
Who, Rose?
Yeah.
We still talk, but we're not doing anything.
Talk.
Yeah.
What?
What?
You send the letters and shit?
No, every few days she sends me a text. She's 3,000 miles. You put it in the wrong end again. The syllable's not strong. You can't figure out the fucking e-cigarette. But no, I mean it's this girl's going to school a couple hours away at the end of the summer, so we'll see what happens there. But this is all new to me. I've always been the nice guy, and I'm trying to not to be now. Yeah.
Well, let the beard grow like fucking Haystacks Calhoun. You gotta go to a fucking strip club. You didn't go to a strip club yet the other day.
No,
you know, these people love you, Lee. They try to look out for you. The same way I'm trying to look out for you. You always try to fight the power and do this. And
fight the power?
You do what you do, but you're gonna think about your Uncle Joey someday. You're gonna go, that motherfucker was right.
No, you are.
That motherfucker's a savage. He just loves me.
Jeez, this is already hitting me.
Eat the edible.
I'm not eating the other piece.
Eat the fucking edible, cocksucker. Eat the edible because you're going to feel better. This is the balance.
No, I'm not.
That's the yin. This little piece will be the yang.
No, the yang.
We'll do a couple jumping.
The yang is you calling me at 4 o'clock, just howling, laughing.
Something. If you don't eat this edible, I'm going to call you every fucking day on the dot and
harass
you, send you boxes. I'm going to send a black hooker to your building 10 fucking times. What do you think these nice white people are going to do when they see a 400-pound black hooker knock on your door for the 10th time? Eat that piece of chocolate, please. Don't embarrass me and the church of what's happening.
I'm not embarrassing anybody. It's already hitting me.
It's already hitting you where? You nothing happened.
Not yet, because I'm not eating another fucking huge piece.
I'm proud of you, Lee. You're a fucking good man. You're taking these bitches to the hoop. You're slinging some dick. Look at you. You're juicing.
You gotta try,
You had a steak this weekend with a Caesar salad.
Oh, fuck. I love Caesar salad.
You went to church.
I went to church.
That's right off your comfort zone. A Jew walking into a Catholic church, right there, shit should have been falling. Did you see me looking at the ceiling at one point?
Yeah, and then we got that. Jerry LaRocca and I got there about 20 minutes early, and we were just talking, and he brought me into the, I don't know what it's called, but the main room during the end of the service, and the Stations of the Cross are on the side, and he said, look at that. That's what your uncle did to him right there. And and then he came up to me and he's like, when we first got to the church, he's like, you know, this is where they filmed like the really hardcore nun porn, right? I was like, what? Because we're in the valley. I didn't know if it was true. He was just messing with me the entire time. And then we got there right when they were giving the communion, like, is it called communion with the wafer and stuff? He's like, you know, at the end they picked 2 people the priest doesn't think is worthy, and they beat them with sticks.
Sure they do.
And I was just...
And those communion, they give little roofies to you, too, just in case you want to lose your mind at the end of the... Let me tell you something. Do you know why? And I told you at the end of the procession why I baptized the baby there.
No. Oh, yeah.
Tell these motherfuckers why.
It's, and I didn't notice it, but for anyone who has bought It's Either You or the Priest, the album cover that's where we shot it.
Right there. Felicia Michaels shot me right in that fucking church where it says priest, right by a confessional.
Yeah.
So I'm loyal to whoever the fuck did us right. So that fucking cover did us right. The Catholic Church did us okay. So we proceeded to take it to the fucking hoop. And that's what you're supposed to do. Loyalty is the main fucking key here, Lee. You understand me? Eat that piece of chocolate.
Fuck, I'm not eating the...
What are you reading on the board? What's the matter? Some chick sent you a note. She wants to rub your pussy on your head. What happened?
No, nothing. I mean, apparently Ustream's down, but we're recording. We'll see what happens. But
Ustream is down. What the fuck is wrong with them?
I don't know. We'll look it up. I'll look it up right now.
They gotta get their shit together.
But no, yeah, it's going on. Fuck, I'm fucked up. Let's do this before I get too fucked up. Again, we're brought to you by HuluPlus.com. Hulu Plus. If you go to HuluPlus.com/Joey, and it's lowercase Joey, not uppercase.
Lowercase.
You get a 2-week free trial. And it's we were talking. You love Shark Tank. You love Law and Order SVU.
But my wife is a Law and Order SVU. I'll tell you what I've discovered that was on there the other day. For you old school motherfuckers that want to see some real suspense, the Twilight Zone on there, 1959, the first couple seasons. If you got to listen, you could sit there till your ass grows roots. You get 2 free weeks, right, Lee?
Yeah, you get 2 free weeks. It's fucking awesome. It's 2 free weeks, and it works on your phone, it works on your TV, it works on your computer, it works on your iPad, and after that, if you want it, it's only $7.99 a month. I mean, you spend more than that in a day on coffee.
And let me tell you how we're gonna do this. This is how we roll here, right? You go over there, you go to the box. Go to my webpage, joeydiaz.net, correctly? Go to joeydiaz.net. Go to the box. Go to Hulu, push in Joey, lowercase, you get 2 free weeks. Plain and simple. After that, if you want the service, which you're going to want, you get it for how much, Lee?
$7.99.
$7.99 a month. $7.99 a month. $7.99 a month. Stop sitting there. After the podcast, listen to the podcast, have a great time, smoke a fucking bazooka, do whatever you need to do. Go to joeydiaz.net or go to where else can they go, Lee?
There's a link at joeydiaz.net, and an easier way to do it is huluplus.com/Joey, lowercase Joey. It takes you right there. You put in your email address. They have apps for iPhone. They have apps for Android. I love it.
It's amazing. My wife is in fucking heaven, so get your shit together. huluplus.com/Joey. That's right. And this is how it works. See, because you work hard. You owe it to yourself. I ain't fucking around with you people. When I party, I party. But when I get down, I get down. When it's time to write, I write. When it's time to spend time with the baby, whatever you do, you give it 150%. So you get up in the morning, you got to go to work, you have a nice breakfast, whatever, oatmeal, some cereal, some fucking fruit, something from the Dolce menu. You go to work, you spend a hard day. You come home, you want to work out. You go, you get some go to onit.com. See what they got available for you. They got to have fucking something that you do. Whether the new mood, whether the strong bone to help you with your fucking pains and aches in the morning. You know what? I took 3 days off from working out. I took strong bone. I'm ready to fucking rock.
Oh, shit.
I've been on strong bone now for 2 weeks again. I'll tell you what, because the guy told me at Jiu-jitsu to take the glucosamine and all that shit and mix it together for your joints. So I'm taking it to the fucking hoop, and I suggest you do. You get home at night, you smoke a fucking number, a few bong hits, you eat a chicken breast, bang, Hulu Plus, bitches.
It's
you can't fucking lose. That's why they sponsor me, because I know it was 2 things that you could be fucking useful for. I don't want to start getting sponsored by people I can't fucking use the product. The reason why I went with Hulu is go to fucking Hulu, lowercase Joey, knock you the fucking self out. That's how we do it here. Lisa, yeah, what's going on? You're getting high, so now you're tapping on me. You got to pick up the energy, son.
I'm not going
anywhere. You got to pick up the energy. We're going to still eat another piece of chocolate, or I'm going to burn both your eyelids with these fucking e-cigarettes. Look at you. You're getting anxiety. I can see it in your face. You're beautiful.
I'm not getting anxiety.
You're losing weight.
I am, yeah. I'm 70 pounds lost.
70 pounds. You're fucking juicing. I got to go back on. You know what? It wasn't that we ate bad this weekend, because I was looking at what I ate. Everything I ate this weekend, I wrote down. Yesterday, I did go a little overboard at the fucking place, but again, I had the rice serving, I had the salad, I had the fried pork chunks, I didn't eat the fried bananas, I had those appetizers.
Oh, they were
you know what?
Yeah.
I walked Friday, I went to jiu-jitsu on Thursday. I walked 4 or 5 times a week with her, at least 2 fucking miles a day with the baby.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, that's how I open up. When I go home now, there's no fucking rest for the weary. I got to go home and walk around in circles with her around the park. And I come home at 11 today. I'm going to write with my boys today. I'm getting this fucking special down. We're going to shoot a fucking special here.
I can't wait.
We're going to tape a CD first, and then once the CD is out, then we start working. We got 6 months to work on the fucking special. The wait, that's going to be a live fucking taping. So we ain't fucking around. We're going into the busy season. We may put a documentary together. What are you pointing at your ear for, cocksucker? What's wrong with your ear?
I'm getting I'm
You're getting nervous. Where's the music?
I'm not getting nervous at
Where's
all.
the fucking music?
I'm fucking stoned.
Eat that piece of chocolate. Let's get this part. Don't fucking make me stab you, cocksucker.
I'm not even here right now.
Oh shit, a little Pink Floyd for you. Now they're saying, did you read that fucking article about Michael Douglas that he got fucking cancer from eating pussy?
Yeah, he got throat cancer.
Taking cancer from eating pussy. You know what? I know a couple guys that get fucking pussy eating cancer. I'm one of them. I fucking love the young one. But that's the truth. I guess I don't know. I never thought of it for that. Who gives a fuck?
So Catherine Zeta-Jones fucking gave him cancer.
Oh, she got that good cancer in her pussy. Like fucking, it's like Lance Armstrong had that good cancer in his fucking nut. He gave it off to Sheryl Crow or vice versa.
I think he gave it to her.
That's what I think too.
Jesus,
don't be talking about fucking Sheryl Crow, cocksucker.
Oh, you like her? Her and Diane Sawyer?
I like Sheryl Crow. I like Sheryl Crow's first 3 albums. Maybe the first 4 albums are pretty good.
Okay.
Around, man. Yeah.
I love it.
You don't bring me anything but down. Then once Eric Clapton fucked her up completely.
Oh, really?
Who gives a fuck about that shit?
I have no idea.
It's a beautiful weekend. Let me give some shout outs to some beautiful fucking people who support the church. I love you to death. Jefferson Humbaugh, Knights of Geekdom, Whiskey Jack, Jordan Larson, Eric Goff, Chris G, Jesse Jones, I love you. Diego Javier, Daniel Tormakis, and Ricky Delgado from Long Island. Stay black. You know, I'm going to fucking Utah.
Oh, yeah, for like one day, right?
Wise Guys, downtown, I think, Utah.
Is it Salt Lake City or?
I think so. Salt Lake City. I'm going to fucking Kentucky to Lexington, June 20th, and then from there I'm going to San Jose on the 26th. No fucking live podcast in June, but we're going to fucking Utah. I'm scared those Mormons are gonna get me.
What do you think they're gonna do to you?
They're gonna tie me up.
They're gonna convert you
and bring me. They're gonna tie me up and take me to fucking Brigham Young. Who the fuck knows what they're gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Jesus. Every fucking time. But I'm looking forward to it.
Do I feel more fucking Catholic today? No, I don't.
No?
I feel complete. I did a couple more things in my life that I didn't know I would do. And a lot of people bang me up for this, you know, for baptizing the baby in the Catholicism. It's the only religion I've known. It's not like I apply myself 100% to Catholicism. You know, I practice a lot of other shit, you know, throughout the fucking week in my heart. And that's the most important thing, what you believe in my heart. I didn't want my baby to die and be floating around in fucking limbo with a bunch of other fucking momos up there floating around. So you got to baptize, you got to do something. Most important, my wife was happy.
Oh, yeah.
Throughout this whole thing, you know, ever since my mother died in 1979, I could lie to you and tell you that I've been really happy at times. I've never fucking been happy. It doesn't take a genius to look at me and know that something wasn't right from the beginning, that maybe I was broken. I'm serious at times.
Yeah, you said it's like food without salt is what you say?
Yeah,
usually.
The last 6 months, just from seeing my wife being happy has made me happy, because finally I got to make somebody really happy in my life. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I make people laugh. I go to a show, but they go back to their fucking lives. If you look at my wife's face when she smiles now, she's that much happy. Am I part of that? Did I know I was going to do that? No. But I did it, and it's being done right now, and I got to continue to make her happy.
Yeah.
My wife was always a happy soul, but she was missing that fucking baby.
She's 1,000 times happier now.
Yeah, she's a complete different fucking woman now. So.
And I'm excited for a couple of years because Mercy's your daughter. Like at the end of the ceremony, she loves her pacifier, and at the very end, she just like the priest was like, "All right, we're done." And
she just spit it the fuck out.
And Pop and everyone died laughing, and she doesn't like when people aren't paying attention. So start like making jokes and like laughing at people. She's a funny kid.
No, she's a funny kid, and listen, man. You know, on the podcast, I promise in my mind, I promise not to talk about it, because I don't want people to think I'm losing who the fuck I am, and I'll never lose who the fuck I am. It's the least of my problem. I pray to God that the real me would disappear when I became a dad.
Really?
It's never gonna go away.
No, you're funny with it. You're like, every time I see, like, all you say to her is, "What's up, Mook? What's up, dog?" It's not like you're saying like, "Hey, cutie." You're like, "What's up, dog? What's the story?"
No, I talk to her. I talk to what, you know. People talk to their fucking kids in this way that my mother never talked to me like that. My mother talked to me. You know, one thing, my mother writing a book has really reminded me of my childhood, and seeing my child. Seeing this little girl really reminded me of my childhood. And for years, I was like any other fucking kid. For years, I'm like any other man that's in his 40s or 35. You get beat that your parents didn't do a great job. Maybe they got divorced. maybe something. There's always something in society. You know what? Every parent did a fucking great job. Well, at least they died fucking trying, man. They died trying for you. If you ended your 18-year reign at home and both your parents were home, maybe you were divorced, your parents died fucking trying. You cannot judge them. You don't know what they were going through at the time. And I got to tell you something about my mother. She was as good enough mother as she could be. You know what I'm saying? For her limitations, if you knew her background and what she was about. But that's what I've realized from writing. That's why I tell people, fuck going to some fucking therapist and talking about somebody. Grab a fucking notebook and put down your life on it and start writing from day one. And they're going to be fucking pages where you're just going to sit there, put the pen down and go, gee, and don't worry about the spelling. Don't worry about the pronunciation. Don't worry about the fucking dots and the yours and the knots and this. Just write. Just write. Go over it every 5 pages if you want to correct shit. Even if you want to do it on a computer, on whatever the fucking micro, whatever the fuck it is. I don't even know what it is.
Microsoft Word?
Yeah. Microsoft Word. Thank you for knowing that. I see Lee's starting to know me. I finished half sentences. But you will learn so much about yourself when you write your life. You will learn so much about yourself. And then you'll notice yourself, you start breaking it into chapters. So that means you're breaking your life into chapters, which is even cooler.
Oh, yeah.
Like you're going, holy shit. So from 3 to 9, it's this chapter. You know, like, or sections, as I should say.
But you probably can't. You have to have some separation from it. And that's because it's interesting hearing you say, like, every parent does the best job. Because you said, you've told us, like, you were, not angry, but as a kid who loses their mom, you're going to be angry that she left. I mean, it wasn't her fault. But something I've learned is that just, it's for bosses, it's for parents. Like, when you're a kid, you think they have all the answers, but they're just a normal person that can make mistakes. So,
your
like,
parents,
they're not superheroes.
We think they're fucking superheroes. They're the biggest thing in our lives. You know, your parents are the biggest thing in your life. But after you start living your life, then they get watered down. Mm-hmm. But you start seeing them for what they are. Mm-hmm. And that's what gets scary. And let's say you're going to therapy to something else and they open up that can of worms. Now you end up hating your fucking parents like Tony Soprano. You know, and nobody should fucking feel... They tried fucking dying for you. They really fucking did. Yeah. You know, I get mad at my mother for different things, but at the same... You know what I thought about yesterday at that fucking church?
What?
About my father dying. That poor bastard died at 37.
37?
37.
Wow.
My real dad died at 30 fucking 7. 30 fucking 7. He would have been 80. I'm sitting there going, how old would my dad been today? He's 37 when he died. And he died in 1966. Mm-hmm. That's fucking 34 years right there. Add another 13 to 34. Right?
Yeah,
that's 45.
66. It's 46 plus 37. It would have been 83.
83.
Wow.
He's a fucking 37. He died. That poor bastard. And here I am walking around. It's so weird. I was having coffee with James yesterday. And I was telling James, honest shit. Like, I remember thinking the year 2000, I was going to be 37. I was never going to make it.
Yeah.
I always thought I was going to die at like 34. And then when I got to be 40, I was like, Jesus fucking Christ.
It has to happen sometime soon.
Yeah, it's going to have to happen soon. And then 45, and it's like now I have this desire to fucking live.
Yeah. You know,
now I have this desire, not even to live as much, because I've faced my own mortality many times. I thought I was going to die. So now it's just, I'm happy I'm not going to die on the floor and somebody's going to pick me up. Yeah. I'm really happy that you're not going to find me fucking dead in the hotel room when we go to Florida, because I did too much fucking blow the night before. That's a shit way to fucking go.
Yeah. And what do you think? Because, I mean, I don't think your mom found him, but, I mean, you thought about how it sucked that your dad passed away, but you think about your mom as a mother. She had to deal with losing her husband in a shitty way, and that must have changed her. I mean, you were probably too young to notice the difference.
No, I know it fucked her up.
Yeah.
It fucked her up. And he died in her arms.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and she had to take him back. And she had to take him back to Cuba. So she went with him to Mexico, and she had to face his family, who were a bunch of fucking cunts. And then she had to come back here and do the hardest job in the world, is be a mom and keep it together. Yeah. I was thinking about one thing I talk to parents about. One of my biggest fears is walking my daughter and seeing a pit bull. I was at a farmer's market about 3 weeks ago, and you and I both know I'm an animal lover. Yeah. I love animals. I love any animal. I was at a farmer's market, and some fucking jerk off and his dumb tattooed fucking cunt girlfriend walk up there. You know the ones tattooed all the way to the sleeves, like she's his ink dummy or some shit. Have a fucking voice, you fucking moron. And she comes walking with a pit bull loose, no leash. And I'm sitting right there and I'm watching this whole hand. I'm eating the baby's in the crib. I'm by my car. I know I got a crowbar in the fucking car, and I'll hit that dog in the head so fucking hard, and then I'll hit Tarzan and that tattoo bitch. I'll hit her in the fucking head so fucking hard that they won't even see it coming. It's by Five, one of those five stores, right there on Colfax. They have a Five.
Five Guys?
No, it's something like a sports store, Sport Authority, Five, whatever the fuck it is.
Okay.
All right, so I usually get my pizza and go right in there with my wife. They have like a little 8-inch pizza. You never been there with me on Sundays? No. Next Sunday we'll go. You got to be up at 10:30.
Okay.
You got to be up at 10. We go at 10:15. And there's kids. You ever go to the farmer's market?
Yeah. I haven't been to this one. I went to one in Boston.
On the fucking corner, they have rides, and they have a donkey that's retarded, and little babies ride the donkey, and then they have a little where you wash your hands, and they have a little thing with horses, and you get on the fucking horse, and they pull you around. It's for fucking kids. So here's, Olive Oil with tattoos and her steroid boyfriend, who you could tell is a fucking moron. It doesn't take a genius to tell this guy's a moron, with this pit bull. So finally a parent goes up to him and he goes, "Listen, man, can you put your dog on a leash? You feeling comfortable?" He goes, "No, he's good around you." "Listen, put the fucking dog on a leash. You're making fucking 50 people uncomfortable here. Put the fucking dog on a leash."
And 99%.
Even before I had a kid,
yeah,
I would feel uncomfortable with a pit bull with a lot of kids around. That's just an appetite. That's just like it's just like
tempting for you.
Yeah, it's a tempting. Just put the leash on.
Yeah.
The guy threw like a fit, but eventually I put the leash on there. A security guard came up to him. It's so weird how, even before I was a fucking parent, I felt bad when I'd see a fucking idiot like that with some tattooed chick, with a fucking dog with no leash. Think, "Oh, well, he's good with kids." We don't know that.
Yeah.
That's you with your fucking kid.
And 99, I think Bill Burr has a pit bull or one of those dogs, and 99% of them probably are cool, but
they are cool.
Why
fuck around?
Yeah.
Why ruin a fucking Sunday? Because you want to bring, tattoo and your dog around with no leash. I appreciate the dogs. I love those dogs more than anything, but you have to be responsible for the people around you sometimes.
Yeah.
Even though you don't fucking want it. I love dogs. Yeah. But I know I don't want super bad around fucking people. He's crazy and Demi around people. That motherfucker's crazy.
Do you think you would have noticed it or been upset by it before Mercy came around?
Oh fuck! I was always upset about it.
Okay.
When I was shooting the Christmas movie, I'm up at the dog park in Encino.
Yeah.
And everybody's having a good time, and this fucking idiot shows up with a fucking pit bull with no
leash.
Shit.
That's Mike.
What's up, Tarzan?
What's up, beautiful? How are you?
How are you, my friend?
I'm fantastic.
You've been up since fucking 5:30, cocksucker, smoking dope and jiu-jitsuing by yourself. And
yeah, you know how we do it. I had to get up and get some coffee, get some jumping jacks in. You know me.
How you doing, Mike Maxwell? Tell me something good.
Everything's beautiful, man. I'm this weekend I've been working nonstop on this new project. Like a local bar, tavern, there's been a bunch of sort of hipster bars. I'm using the word hipster just as a defining term, but like young business owners are opening up bars and restaurants in San Diego, and they're trying to make them sort of unique and different from all the other shit. So, and it's one of the only industries that's really doing stuff for local business. And so this company, they have me painting the front of a player piano. So I've been cranking out that shit all weekend.
What's a player piano, Mike? Is it just like the normal piano you see in a bar and has the top that folds up?
Well, it's those ones that play by themselves. So it's old saloon style. So I'm doing these turn of the century portraits on the sliding doors that would normally cover the wheel that spins to play the piano. And
for people who don't know, you did the cover art for the podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
Cover art for the podcast, cover art for Joe's podcast, cover art, my Charles Bronson picture on my fucking wall. Mike Maxwell's been around the corner, dog. This guy's like a real hoe. He's a hoe with good pussy and shit.
Well, that's what, this project too. It's that's the thing for artists like me who maybe are not the most popular in the gallery scene, or like hip in the like street art scene or whatever. There's little jobs that you got to pick up along the way to be able to make ends meet.
Now,
it is one of those types of things.
How did you get? Because you've been doing stuff. You did one of Rogan's and Joey's Chicago shows. People always ask me how I got set up with Joey. How did you start doing stuff for Death Squad?
Well, my sister has worked at the Comedy Store in La Jolla for a long ass time, and so
how long?
I was trying to think. At least 6 years.
I don't know your sister.
What's that?
Do I know your sister?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you do.
Oh, I don't even know that.
She's been at the store. I think she's been at the store since right about when Rogan and you guys stopped going to the Hollywood store. I think the last show that Rogan did in La Jolla, I think she was working there. Like, that may have been her first year. So she's good friends with all those guys that come down, a few times a year. And actually, how I got hooked up was through Ari. Rogan was playing the House of Blues, I think, in downtown San Diego, and the show was sold out. And so I hit my sister up and was like, "Hey, if you can give me a ticket, that'd be awesome. I want to go see the show." And so Ari came through like last minute with like some balcony seats or something. So when he came back around to La Jolla to do a set, I made a poster for him as a thank you, just for getting me the tickets to the show last minute, sold out show. Like, he went out of his way, and so I wanted to repay him. So I did just like a little flyer, like an 8x10. It was a portrait of him, Freddie Lockhart, and Tony Hinchcliffe. And then I think after that, I think Joe saw that and then hit me up about doing those posters for Chicago and Atlanta.
But no, I had done. You had done the Charles Bronson by then already, also.
Yeah. See, I had started listening to your show when you were doing Beauty and the Beast,
right?
And I think, I heard you guys. I was listening to the Ustream earlier, and you were talking about your mom quite a bit. And like, I tell this story, like at the time I started listening to Beauty and the Beast, my stepfather was dying from colon cancer, and it had spread throughout his body. And you had told a story about your mom, like you do all the time, right? But there was a few shows that were like really intimate and like personal at that time. And watching somebody die from cancer, like hearing some of your stories, kind of like it helped me get through some of that shit, And from someone who had, like, most of my life, like, facing death has been like a big fear. Like I never went to any funerals. Like I always avoided the fear of death. And so you were telling these stories, and at some point you told a story about how your mom used to paint the quarters red.
Right.
In the pool hall.
For the jukebox.
Yeah. And literally the day that you had told a story that had just made me feel a little bit better, like took some of the pressure off, like when you hear somebody else who's going through or has gone through something that you're going through, like it alleviates some of that pain and agony or whatever. And so I, like, that night I went to the taco shop or whatever, and when I got my change back, one of the quarters that I got was painted red.
And you emailed me the picture.
Yeah, and it was from, like mid-'70s. And, like, in all reality, it's probably coincidence. But just the fact that like, I'm not a religious person, like I most things I chalk up to coincidence or chance. But like, just the steps that it went through, like the process that I was going through into hearing the story, like feeling better, and then when I got just a quarter that was painted red, like it made me feel even better. So like at some point, you came down and did a show in OB, I think was, or no, in Pacific Beach. And we got to meet up after that.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And then you got into jiu-jitsu and
listening to Joe's show, like that was a big thing getting into jiu-jitsu. But I do my own podcast. It's called the Live Free Podcast. And I had a guy on, a artist friend of mine. My show's based on visual arts mostly. And he had been doing jiu-jitsu. He was already a purple belt. And at one point he was like, yeah, you should come try it. And I said that I wanted to do it. And since I said that I wanted to do it on the air and like recorded it and put it out there, I felt like I had to go do it. So eventually I got into that. I've been doing that for a couple of years now.
And how'd you get into art? I mean, you always know when you're artistic. What day did you know that you wanted to make a living from doing this?
Well, it took a while to realize that I could make a living, right? Like I never really saw the business of art until I got into my 20s, I guess, like early 20s. But I've been making shit since as far as I can remember. Like most people, like as a kid, everybody's drawing and making shit. But I think at some point I saw that I got recognition for it, maybe like some sort of attention, like that I was a little bit better than the other kids or some shit. And from then I knew that it was something that I wanted to do forever. But I got that like sort of addictive personality too, so like when I find things that I like, I want to do them to the nth degree,
So, Mike, I mean, just listening, it seems like there's a lot of parallels between like art and like the kind of art you do and like stand-up comedy. Like it feels like, because it's probably not the easiest thing. You probably don't make a lot of money at the beginning. Like, what is it like to start out as an artist?
Well, it's tough, and like I said, like doing this, like player piano and painting the front of this thing, like this is what I'm doing to make some extra dough to pay the bills. But it's fucking hard as fuck. Like, but it's a labor of love, really. Like, somehow, I've been thinking about this a lot. Like, I talk about this, like, how much easier it would be sometimes just to go work a 9 to 5 and get a paycheck and not worry about it. But every time I think about that, it sounds like death to me, and that there's no way that I could ever go about doing that. But starting out, like, I was lucky. Out of high school, I linked up with Shepard Fairey, who is the Obey Giant guy, the guy who does all the Andre the Giant heads all over the place, and he did the Obama poster in 2012. And so, like, I became his assistant almost, like, sort of right out of high school. I guess I was 19 or 20.
And was he big by then, or where was he? Because I know when you said the name, I knew exactly who you were talking about. But how big was he then?
Not nearly as well known as he is now. But I mean, he had already garnished a lot of like underground art fame, or even like some mainstream art galleries were selling his stuff. And I mean, he was already, he was in his early 30s, but was already pretty much locked into what he was doing. Like, he ran a design firm out of San Diego that also housed all the Obey stuff that he does. And so, like, I was, painting some of his paintings that went out. I was, shipping all the posters and stickers and, like, all the big posters that went up, like, in the late 90s to, like, 2000 era, like, 98 to 2000. Like, I did blew up all those. I had to go to Kinko's. I used to have so many scams at Kinko's, and I think like there'd be girls that worked there that I'd flirt with to try to get free like blown up posters, and like I'd bring skateboards and stickers for like the dudes that worked there, and would walk out with like $500 worth of blown up posters for 30 cents or something. So, that was sort of my start, and I got to kind of figure out how the art world worked in that sense, like from that perspective. And I think without having had that opportunity, maybe, it would have been a lot harder to break through, I think. But it's still, I've been doing this for almost 15 years, and it still feels like a struggle,
It's amazing when you wake up one morning like throughout the 20 years that I was doing comedy, there's been every 6 months I think about going and getting a fucking day job.
Yeah.
Like especially after like I shoot a big movie or something. Like I go, fuck it, that's it. You know, I did what I needed to do. And you really want to be a regular person. There's a part of you that just says, I just want to be a regular person, have insurance. But the other part of you is like, fuck you. Fuck you. I'm never going back to that shit.
Yeah.
You know, it takes a certain belief in yourself. It's like this little fine line that one day. And listen, man, I know that there's some months that you eat dick, Mike Maxwell.
Yeah, for sure.
You eat dick. There's some months that it's a $400 fucking month, and you're lucky you got that. There was a check in the mail that you forgot about. That came, that was taxes from 2 years ago for $320, and you eat fucking good for 3 days. But there's some months that, and at the end of the day, you know what? Even the bad months, you know it's a good month because you didn't take shit from somebody.
Those moments pop up when you most need them. Like when you're at the most down and out, and you're just like throwing in the towel and just saying fuck it. Like all of a sudden something pops up and gets your mood right, or gets you irking to do something new again. Like there's definitely ebbs and flows, or peaks and valleys for sure.
There's a fine line, and nobody really knows this, but there's a very fine, because I've lived both lives, there's a very fine line between a hustler / artist. It really makes you want to think. There's a very fine line between a criminal and an artist. It really, really, really makes you want to think about what the fuck. When I made the transition from thievery to comedy, there was a couple months even that, when I sold the coke for a couple of years in between. You got to do whatever the fuck pops up. Sometimes you might have to sell a quarter pound to an agent. There was a couple fucking months I had theatrical agents that say, listen, dog, my roommate wants to buy weed, can you get me weed? And I get him a quarter pound, but I make $200 or something. Yeah. I laugh at those times now, but there's a very fucking fine line. And when people just take life in their own hands, I give them an extra sort of respect. You know what I'm saying, like Mike Maxwell? When people like you, sure. You live your life by, and you do jiu-jitsu, and you got a car payment, and you make it fucking happen.
Sometimes I don't know how it works, but...
Oh, my God, you never do. But
I've been thinking, over the last couple weeks, I've really been focused on the idea of just letting life live itself. There's this idea that you have to, control every single moment and decide what's going to happen. And, if those things that you decide are supposed to happen in the future don't happen, you feel all shitty. I keep thinking, and I've been thinking about this with making art, too, do I make art that I think I could sell, or do I just make what I want to make at all times and just hope for the best? Don't try to figure out the tricks so much as just put in the fucking work, and what happens and try let it happen. It's easier to say now, right at this moment, but it's something I've been working with.
It's amazing how many people try to use trickery with their art, and it's not really art when you use trickery.
What do you mean trickery?
Trickery. Art's supposed to be honest, and also at the same time dangerous. Mm-hmm. But you're not supposed to be trickery. When somebody's an artist and they still have that scam in them, it bothers me right off the bat, because I'm coming at you as an artist. I'm not coming at you as a thief.
Yeah, it's like something kitschy, or it's almost like marketing. Like you're trying to.
A couple of weeks ago, I did that podcast for those fucking cunts, and the next morning, when they published the podcast, they were round tripping people, making people, hey, can you retweet this for me? And I hit them up, and I said, stop doing that. It's low class. Then the next day, I'm doing the podcast, and they're hitting up people that are fucking really famous, saying, hey, Joey Diaz did our podcast. Why don't you do our podcast? That's trickery.
Yeah.
That's trickery. You follow me?
Yeah.
Whenever somebody has a podcast and they have you ever see those black people that dance on Facebook? Some people advertise with them. And it says, Lee Sayat, suck my dick. And I'll have 4 girls. And each card will have Lee Sayat, suck my dick, something like that. All right, so you got me to look at your podcast and listen to it one time. But you didn't work from strength. Mm-hmm. You didn't work from the strength of your podcast, which is just make the podcast funny, or be entertaining. You know, and that's the same thing with art. Some people, I understand what you're saying, Mike Maxwell. It's the same thing with jokes. Go ahead, buddy.
Chris Brown, the rapper.
Yeah.
He came out last year or the year before trying to like front as like a street artist, like doing graffiti and like painting shit, like trying to get into like the fine art game. And it was clear to, I think, most people that it was trickery. You know, just like the only reason that anybody would pay attention to something like that is because it's Chris Brown doing something. You know, so like using those angles to sort of jump ahead of the line. Whereas, and you know, like how that's the funny thing about art too, is that there really is no fucking rules. You can do whatever the fuck you want, and maybe you might make it, and maybe you might not too. So like, I don't like to shit on anybody going for it or whatever, but like just in terms
there's
of
a certain way to go for it.
I keep thinking about the word networking. Like people who network, I hate it. People, and it's because you kind of need, like, it's all people you know out here. But people who tell me they go to networking events, I'm like, I could never. Like, my mom is a lawyer, and she grew up, and she wants me to network and meet people. I'm like, I'm not going to meet somebody for lunch so we can talk for an hour. It sounds gross. So every time when you were talking about that, all I could think about was networking.
You want to know?
It has to happen naturally.
You know what trickery is? Trickery is all these fake fucking hemp cons they're doing now. They do these fake hemp cons every other weekend now.
Yeah.
And like there's one up here this weekend. That's trickery. They got a bunch of fucking idiots that read High Times to show up and smoke the same weed you get for $10 a gram in fucking Tarzana. You know, that's trickery to me. Yeah. All that shit is always like, it amazes me how people fall for that shit. Going back to somebody you mentioned, and this is great that we're doing this. I like when you call Mike Maxwell. Chris Brown is the biggest piece of shit that ever walked the fucking planet. And if you think OJ got it bad in the karma sense, wait till you see what Chris Brown got coming from. Not for beating up Brienne. That's the least of his fucking problems.
Really?
Yeah. Sure.
Just for being he's just a dirty dude. It's like we have no idea what Michael Jackson was till 10 years from now when you get a hold of Justin Bieber, who Justin Bieber's going to become.
I think it's going to be...
Oh, Justin Bieber's going to make Michael Jackson look like a fucking daycare center.
Really?
Oh. And you're going to see a little cunt coming at you in full fuck. He's never going to grow up. He's going to still always be 20 when he's 30 and when he's 40.
Why would you? I mean, if you had fucking $100 million.
Watch how fast that ship's going to fucking crash hard.
Wow.
He'll crash one of those cars in the one-on-one. What's going on with you, little brother? Tell me something good, Mike Maxwell. What's the next move?
Shit. You know, just like I said, staying alive, like living one day at a time. I've been focused a bunch on t-shirt design and doing like my own line of t-shirts, which has been really, speaking of like trying to make ends meet, like that's been an easier way it seems to sell artwork is in t-shirt fashion. Just it's easier to make a paycheck at the end of the week selling work that is utilitarian, you know.
Yeah, there's a lot of people my age who like that sort of stuff. Like there was the documentary Exit Through the Gift Shop. So people like art now.
I thought I was going to be in that.
You were going to be in that?
Well, yeah, because when that was being filmed, I had mentioned going to Kinko's and jacking them. When the time frame that was filmed in, I was working for Shepard, and like people would come in and film all the time. And I actually took a guy with a camera up to Kinko's. Like these scans at Kinko's. Do you remember? Lee, you might be too young. How old are you, Lee?
24.
Yeah, so Kinko's used to have these keys that you would stick into the photocopiers.
Right.
Do you remember these, Joey?
Yes, and you can make copies, and then you give it to the people and say how many copies you made.
Yes, exactly.
And you would say 3 of them were mistakes.
Well, get this. So what we would do is you would set the key on the counter of the machine or whatever, and if you just slid it off and let it fall and hit the ground, all the numbers would roll over in the counter. So the counter would say something like 350,000, you know, it would roll all the way over, like an insane number of copies. You bring it up and be like, hey, this key went all wonky. I got 5 copies. Meanwhile, you got 500 copies and stuffed them in the bag that's under the machine.
That's hysterical. But
so like shit like that. But I thought when that movie came out, I was waiting to see, like, there's a scene with Shepard in Kinko's in LA, like the one time he's in that time frame that he was making posters on his own.
Yeah, that's great. But what I was thinking is like, 'cause I like art too, but I can't afford 200-300. I don't know how much. I don't even know how much art costs.
Yeah, it's expensive.
But if you could buy a $20 T-shirt from that artist, like it must be a cool way to like to have art, but
It's
not
a
have
good way
to.
of looking at it. I never thought about it that way.
Well, that's I was talking with my girl yesterday. Like, there's no way for anybody to know without doing it the amount of work that it takes to make the art, And also, like, I went to the art store the other day and got one little like 3-ounce tube of paint and a can of varnish and spent like $25. So like all the costs build up, and then not only that, but for people that don't know, like if you go to a gallery and you see like really high prices in a gallery, you should know that the gallery is also taking 50% of that cut.
They take 50%.
50%.
It's like iTunes.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Or
hey man, people have to make a fucking living. And what are you gonna do sometimes? What are you gonna fucking do? You get pissed. We get pissed. You get pissed, don't you, Mike Maxwell? You get pissed. You feel like you're getting robbed, but at the end of the week, you're like, you know what? They gotta eat too.
Yeah, exactly. They're gambling too. It's weird. The art world is a gamble. And that's I think sort of part of the allure for me too. Like the risk involved, like because there's no net. People who work a regular job, just being a regular person, you have that every 2 weeks you get a check, and there's at least some minor level of security. Like every day I wake up and thinking, okay, how am I going to bring in a few dollars today? And it is a hustle. Like you mentioned the fine line between being a criminal and or a hustler even, and making art. Like now, in this day and age, because of modern technology, I'm the art producer, the maker, and the art dealer to a certain extent now, because I'm making more money selling it on my own. It's not as high level, but I'm forced into all those positions. But and that's the thing with creative people, is they're always kind of hands-on and want to take care of everything on their own anyway, right? Like you let somebody else do shit, and it's not going to come out the way you want it.
Man, you give me the impression of a guy at the times we've hung out that you like to take control of what you have in front of you. Yeah. And if you fucking don't, you're foolish. The people who don't are the people that show up on Google 10 years later. My brother-in-law robbed me for $80 million. You never thought of fucking looking at the bank records? You never thought of looking at this fucking paperwork? You never thought of looking to see what you're selling or what you're not selling? Or do you have an idea? I mean, it just, it's always baffled me about people that they either get too big for their britches, and I think you never get too big. When you start getting too big for your britches, that's when you slow it down. You go, all right, I'm losing control of what I got.
Yeah,
I gotta keep
part
my eye
of me
on
wants
this.
that though, not the losing control, but that idea that you could like dictate, responsibilities of your own onto other people. So I think that's a lazy mentality, I guess. But it seems like it'd be nice.
Nah, you gotta take care of your own shit.
Yeah,
and it's very rough how there's people that could cover 50% of it. Listen, I can't get people. There's comics who are very good promoters, but they're horrible comedians. They just know how to get people down there, even if it's a free ticket, a $3 ticket. Then the other way it goes is people who are great comics who don't know anything about that shit. Now, you have to be good on Twitter and Facebook. Mm-hmm. You have to. You have to. You have to do all these things. And I guess it applies. Listen, there's 1,000 things you could do now to help you sell your art. Imagine 20 years ago with no internet.
Yeah, I do. I lived it. And, I feel kind of like I benefited from that. It was a very short time frame, man. Because, when I started making art, the internet was going and it was being used, but it wasn't anywhere near the level that we see today. Like, the exposure was nowhere near that level. So, like, you had to go to shows. You had to, network, for a lack of a better word. But really, you had to do it naturally. You had to go and make friends. You had to meet these people at the galleries, and you weren't seeing stuff for like months afterwards when it happened. Now everything is instant. It's changed the game completely. Which, I guess it's both for the good and there's some negative to it. I guess. How's that edible, Lee?
I'm so fucked up
he
right now.
didn't finish the second part of it, so it ain't that far. He's
yes, it is. I'm glad I didn't have
it. You see what I'm dealing with? I gave him fucking 30 milligrams, and look at him. He's sitting there like a fucking Jew without his pennies. He's all fucked up.
Fuck
all
you,
fucked
piece of
up.
shit.
And I got to tell you something, Mike Maxwell, and because of you now I'm going to jiu-jitsu. And my rolling, I can roll for about a minute and a half before I have a heart attack.
Well, hey, listen, like we had a guy come into class recently, into the beginner's class, and he was trying out a week at the gym or whatever. Took all the classes, the Muay Thai, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, and like cardio work or whatever. He said that none of those classes were anywhere near the amount of cardio or energy it took to do like 2 minutes of rolling. So, and this is a young guy, like in his early 20s. He was in shape. He was puking. So it's a crazy sport, and for people who are creative, I recommend it to artists all the time. Like it's just as much about the mind as it is about the body, and you kind of forget about the body to a certain extent, except for feeling like your lungs are gonna burn apart and your heart's gonna explode out of your chest. But other than that, a lot of it plays out in the mind. It's an interesting game.
Have you cut down on the smoking since you joined jiu-jitsu?
No.
Should you?
It's funny. With all the edible talk today, I have such a strange metabolism that edibles won't do shit for me.
You know, there's some
They don't get me
edibles
high
that
at all.
don't do dick for me, and there's some edibles that put me through the fucking roof. It's just doing them. You should try some of the shit I eat, because I'm sure this will get you a little bit. Look at fucking poor Lee. Look at him. His yarmulke's spinning. It's invisible today.
We had 420. One of the dispensaries that I'd go to, they would have like a free day, like a free giveaway day on 420. Like, you get an edible and a pre-roll or something. And the dude who owned the shop, his mom made these lemon bars that were probably the only edible that's really fucked with me at all in a long time. Like, I was stumbling around, like, when you go to take a step and you kind of miss the ground and your foot just goes back behind you, you just totally miss the ground. Like, I was doing that sort of shit. And when we were in Atlanta, when we came back from Atlanta, I ate a bunch of hash that somebody had given Duncan at the show.
That fucking mushroom hash.
Fucked me up.
Oh, somebody gave me that mushroom in Atlanta. Somebody gave us the chocolate bar that had THC in it and the mushrooms. Remember the fucking dirty kid? He lived on a bus for 2 days. Even the chocolate bar was dirty. I didn't give a fuck. He had mushrooms in there and THC.
I think next time I get some, like some real hash, I want to eat it again. 'Cause that seemed to do, like, I was fucked the whole plane ride.
Oh no, the hashish fucks you up. The hash, that's what Bruce Lee was eating. That's the shit that'll take you back.
Yeah, I think it's better than sometimes than when people make the butter or whatever.
Well, you feel it in your body. When you eat the hash, you really feel the difference in your body. You really feel like you only have a head.
Yeah.
That's it. Just picture yourself if you only had a head and you're sitting on a plane and you're watching some shitty movie. All you feel is your head. You're blinking. You could hear, so you got ears. You could
that
smell.
day was funny as fuck. Do you remember how freaked out Rogan was because you and I roached those two numbers out front of the hotel? Like, just
fuck yeah.
charged them. We reeked so bad getting in the truck. Rogan fucking freaked.
Oh my god.
He was paranoid, man. And then you guys took off on one of the other routes to get on your plane, and I was getting on another plane. So when I went through security, there was these two like super sweet black chicks at the security check-in, and I was roached. I'd eaten that hash, and we smoked 2 big numbers before we even left to go to the airport. And they looked up at me, looked at each other, and like smirked. And just gave me like the little head nod to go ahead and go past. Like, didn't give me no bullshit. And it was great.
Every once in a while, we hit the fucking jackpot. When am I going to see you again, cocksucker?
I gotta, I want to get up to LA for one of the live podcasts. How those been going? Got 2 or 3 of them done?
Yeah. You know what, Mike? We're on to something. They're pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, it's weird to see. Like, I've been thinking about this a lot. Like, watching the sort of like the rubber band catch back up to itself. Like the the boomerang sort of coming back around, like as
Yeah.
people catch on, like as to what's going on with podcasts, and people being honest in a different type of media that's getting out there for people. I think we're watching it sort of collect the magnet collecting the dust on the way back or whatever.
It's a late night talk show on steroids.
Yeah.
Listen, you could do so much with late night. You could do so much. I could bring a band up there. The beauty about the podcast is the honesty and the laughter and the non-rehearsal, and that's the beauty of the podcast. When I get on stage and I talk to those people for 8 minutes, I don't have a writer. I don't have writers sitting around writing for me. It's whatever I thought of on the drive up. Then I introduce Lee. We do 10 minutes, and I introduce my guest, a double guest. And it goes, Josh Wolf was talking about coming in some chick's fucking ear in Idaho 10, 15, 20 years ago when we were kids, Just the honesty level is, and that's what the podcast is about. I know when I listen to a podcast, Mike, within the first 4 minutes, if I'm going to shut it off, if the guy's trying to be a radio DJ, what he says, what he doesn't say, I know. The success of all the really good podcasts is the blunt of the fucking honesty, including yours,
And that's what brings everybody in. And there's like what's great about honesty is that it takes away the fear. Like what I was talking about, like the fear of death, or like the agony around it. Like hearing people talk about things open and honestly alleviates that for the listeners, and especially for the people. Like it's like all the artists that I've had on the show, on my show, it feels like almost like a therapy session for them. Like they get done and they're like, wow, thanks for giving me that opportunity. Even though like the artists that I have on the show are probably way more well known than I am, and they're actually doing something for me in terms of bringing in viewers or listeners or whatever. But like it feels like there's an exchange that takes place that is beneficial not only for the listeners but the people involved too.
How many podcasts do you do a week for your own? What's the name of your show again?
The Live Free podcast.
Live Free. How many episodes do you post a week?
I've done 102 episodes over a few years, over 2.5 years or something. So I don't really have any rules on it. I just do it when I do it. Artists are paid like wrangling cats, trying to fucking get them to sit down for an hour and talk. So I try to do 1 or 2 a week. Sometimes I take a couple weeks off.
Mike Maxwell. No I love you. It's always a pleasure, cocksucker.
Yeah, brother, I love you too. And
we'll talk about
Lee,
the
it was
passion.
nice to meet you in La Jolla.
You too.
Yeah, that's who brought the idea up. He says you were a sweetheart to him. I said to myself, I smoked too much dope. Or has Mike Maxwell been on a podcast, or was he on Beauty, or whatever? But we got you, and that's all that matters, brother. You're starting the week off on the right fucking foot, cocksucker.
Yeah, no doubt.
I love you.
All right, love you too, brother.
Thank you very much, man. You too, brother. Stay black and beautiful always.
All right, later.
I have 2 things to say, and then he can go because I'm almost out of this world right now. But I like Mike. He's cool. He's doing something for me. I wrote him a few weeks ago, and when I hit the halfway mark of my weight loss, I said I want something to remind me. And I wrote him an email. I said just something.
How about eat that other piece of chocolate to remind
fuck you, and then I can't barely talk. 2 seconds,
and that'll be the reminder.
But he's gonna do something like cool, like 150, and I can hang it up in my house. And then the other thing I want you to talk about is you guys were talking about like believing in yourself and quitting your job, and that's something I'm going through right now. Like I'm kind of on the edge of it, and you told me like 3 weeks ago that I'm sick of working, and I am.
I could tell. But it's just, I know your attitude.
It makes me
you're trying to get other jobs because you think the next one's going to be better, and they're just going to get worse because you don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
You come to a conclusion. Now we got to find you 2 or 3 other hustles for you to really keep it together. And dog, and I don't put nobody down. I don't put nobody down for wanting to keep their job and not wanting to give their dream a tough thing. And I fucking blame you. You're going, Joey, how could I do that? I got a fan. Listen, I'm fucking with you 100%. Sometimes I word it wrong. I should not. But give it a try.
Yeah.
Put some money away. If you want to live your dream or do it part-time, you got to do it. You got to do it to be in it. You just can't fuck around and read the fine print. You got to do it. And once you do it, I tell you what, you're going to feel so much better about yourself, and you're going to go for it. Mm-hmm. You go for it more. You sharpen your life more. You know what? I was always a sharp guy the last couple of years. I've been sharp. This baby makes me sharper because now instead of having to do it in 10 hours, I got to make it happen in 5.
Yeah.
Okay? But I wouldn't have known unless you test yourself. Test yourself. Don't ever be ashamed or afraid of testing yourself. It's better than not testing yourself. You'll know when it's time to quit, but I could tell. I could tell you got a job and you're waiting that you'll start in a month, because that's the way I was, right? The last job I had before this, I really had a job that was a career job that I could make $100,000 a year.
Yeah.
Excuse me, with selling cars.
Yeah.
So in the back of my mind, I had started to make money selling cars. I knew if I ever got in trouble, I could make $6,000 or $7,000 in a month. If I ever got in trouble, I was that good that I could go in there and sell. All selling cars is without stealing is talking to people. It's belly to belly sales.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to do it. I just kept getting them more jobs. I just kept going, fuck this. And I go to a Nissan store and go, listen, you have no spics. You're not selling to no Latins. Let me come in here. Let me get 20 Latins a month. That's 20 car sales a month. Okay, what do you need to start? I need $600 and a fucking and a car. And for a month, I would take that $600, pay rent, and take $100 for blow. And for a month, I would live on their car. And I would try to hustle more until I found another car dealer that would hire me for another month.
Yeah.
And I would go in there for the least time I would. And here I would borrow their fucking car, but I was still shoplifting at the local Macy's.
In their car?
In their car. I was going into stores and doing returns and shit. Just when you're ready to quit your job, you'll fucking know. You just can't put people that love you in a lurch.
Yeah.
You can't go to your mother and go, Ma, I'm not paying rent no more because I want to live my dream. It don't fucking work that way.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm worried about.
Yeah, you got to pay your bills. So that's why you take your nuts and you maintain them and you say, what number do I need every month to fucking make it happen? You write that number down on January 1st. Write it down. Break it into 4. Say, if I need $2,000 a month, I need $500 a week. What do I need to make $500 a fucking week? And you know what? Some weeks you're going to make $350. But I guarantee you 2 weeks later, if you do the work, you'll make $700 and you'll make up for that $350. Like I said, cocksuckers, you want to start getting healthy, you want to be on the ball with the right people, whether it's kettlebells, ropes, fucking tapes, DVDs on how to kettlebell, go to Onnit.com. Onnit.com got everything for you, not to mention what got them on the fucking out the front door, which is supplements. You know what? I don't go a day without that fucking strong bone. Not now. I can't take the chance. I got to walk 2 miles. My feet can't be sore and my knees can't be sore. I take 2 walks around that North Hollywood Park, plus the walk there and the walk back, plus the walk in Lancashire with my daughter pushing a fucking crib. So if I do that 4 or 5 times a week and I have to do it with her, it takes the edge off. Like today, it's kind of cloudy. Beautiful day for a fucking walk. My wife would talk me out of it. But besides the walk and all that shit, I go to Onnit. Take the strong bone. This morning, I was in a lurch, protein powder, Onnit, milkshakes, some ice cubes, a little almond fucking milk. Bang! I'm ready. Did you smell any farts today? No. My asshole's clean. The Onnit protein is clean, that hemp protein. Okay? Last night, I went to bed at 7:30. I didn't need the fucking new mood. But if I wanted to be and relax, I would have taken the fucking new mood. So go to Onnit.com, get whatever you need. They have mix and matches. You know, even if you get the green fucking whatever, the pulp, whatever they got there, you mix it. Delicious. That shit will clean you out. Trust me. Get the fucking strong bone. If you're a fat fuck, give it a shot. Start by walking 1 mile, then you walk 2 miles. Next thing you know, you're running like fucking John Claude Van Healy on the electrical machine, whatever the fuck it is. And that's it. That's how we roll. Friday the 14th, I'm at Utah, Wise Guys. Go to wiseguys.com, Utah Comedy, whatever the fuck it is. The 20th of June, I'm in Lexington, Kentucky, right in the Bible Belt, slinging dick and fucking up crucifixes. And on the 26th of June, I'm up in San Jose with my brothers and sisters, smoking big dope with my man Lee Syed. Will be around all fucking weekend, rocking the house. And that's how we do it here. Like I told you once, I told you a million fucking times, it's Monday. Grab your balls, sniff your fingers. See why the fuck God put you on this motherfucker. Go out there and stab a motherfucker in the neck and take what's coming to you, cocksucker. Do you want to eat another piece of chocolate?
I'm so
eat that little piece over there.
I'm
eat that
so,
Let me see the size of it. Let me see how big it is. Lee, eat that.
I could not fuck
Lee,
you,
eat that.
but I had half of it.
You didn't even eat the fucking size.
You saw what I.
You are such. Oh,
I'm
Lee,
so fucked up right now.
You're getting so bad. Eat that. We can't turn off if we eat that little.
No.
Eat half of it. Eat half of it.
Fuck you.
Eat it. I'll eat the other half. Come here.
I'm so fucked up.
Come here. Give it to Uncle Joey.
You
Come
can
here.
have
Come
it.
here. All right, bring it to Uncle Joey. We'll split it.
I'm not splitting
Come here.
shit.
Bring it to Uncle
I'm
Joey.
so fucked up.
Come here. Come here, cocksucker. You're so
Fuck you. I'm just gonna throw it at you.
How you gonna throw it at me? What's the matter with you? You didn't do any jumping jacks? Let me see you do a couple of jumping jacks while you eat. Do 10 jumping jacks real quick. Right here. Oh, you couple jumping jacks.
Let me switch the camera. I feel like I feel like.
You feel like what? You feel like what?
Like you know how you're supposed to feel after a massage, where like you're all warm and.
Yeah, this is what I do. I bring you nothing but warmth, and look how you treat me, you miserable cocksucker.
God, I'm so fucked up.
Yeah, we'll couple jumping jacks. Hee-ho, hee-ho, hee-ho.
Fuck you. Where's your jumping jacks? You were making fun of me to your agent, and you said you do jumping jacks. You're not doing shit. You're too fucked up. I want to see you do some. Hiko, fuck you.
Bitch. Anyway, we got a great week. Don't forget to listen to the live podcast with Josh Wolf and Dr. Frank Berdiz. We had some great podcasts last week. Don't forget to get your shit together. It's the most important thing. I love you, motherfuckers. Go to joeydiaz.net. And check out the tour dates. We're coming to your town this week. Michigan, fucking everything. I'm coming everything. Give him some music, Lee.
All right. Before we do the music, now that the show's over, don't forget to sign up for your free trial of Hulu Plus.
Lee.
What?
Why are you reading the fucking thing? Be more natural.
Well, because I'll be natural, but they won't. You have to say this. Stop with the questions. Just think about your music. Fucking jerk. All right.
Start from the top. Say, listen. A couple months ago, I was at home watching TV. There was nothing on TV. I went to HuluPlus.com, and there was all the shows I was looking to fucking get. Whether it's on my phone, whether it's on my television, on my computer. I was able to see shows I haven't seen in fucking years. Shows like The Twilight Zone. Shows like Community. Shows like Law and Order SVU. Shows like...
Shark Tank.
There you go. Keep going.
You fucking asshole. Start watching your favorite hit shows right now. Go to joeydiaz.net and click on the Hulu Plus banner for your extended free trial. Or go to huluplus.com/Joey. Again, click the Hulu Plus banner on joeydiaz.net or go to huluplus.com/Joey. We have Amazon up there. We have a bunch of stuff. And I do love Hulu Plus. People make fun of me like I'm the Jew who's trying to get the money, but I've loved Hulu Plus.
No, my wife loves it. She says no bad complaints about it. She loves it. Go to Hulu Plus, put in Joey, lower tag, get 2 weeks for free.
2 weeks for free.
14 days. You know how many things you can watch a day? I'll tell you what, it's so good. After that, you'll be begging to give the Hulu people $7.95 a month.
Oh shit! All right.
Have a great day. Stay black. God bless you. Do whatever the fuck it is that you do to be happy. Don't be like this fucking movie. Do some jumping jacks.
Fuck you.
Just tapped out at 3.